Hey, Greninja, do you want to see something like really funny? Yeah? Okay, watch this. Yay! Wait, what? What? It's a flying Greninja. Oh god, there he goes. Right, so you want the coolest Pokemon in Pixelmon. My name is Jivalon, and today I'm going to help you get that. Let's go. Right, so there are a few things that you need to do before you're actually able to get this Ash Greninja. One of the main things that you need before anything is a Super Rod. Now, there are a few different ways to get them, but I'll take you through the ways that I think are best. The first option, which is probably the hardest one to do, is battling fishermen. But in that case, you have to go out and find a fisherman, and then once you find one, you still only have a 1 in 1,000 chance of finding one. So it is still incredibly hard to find. The other two methods are much easier. The second method is actually using a good rod. So if you have one of these things, all you need to do is just fish in the water and eventually you will be able to get one of these. Another option would be if you were to forage, which is one of the abilities that every single Pokemon has. Once a Pokemon is in, get in the water! Get in the water. Okay, you're in. So once you're in the water, your Pokemon will forage if you press the command G. And you just need to keep on going at it until you find a Super Rod. Alternatively, on the server of Pixel Spark, it's different per server, but for here, it costs about 50,000 to be able to get a Super Rod, which isn't much for most people, but might be when you're at the start. But those are 3 main ways that you can get a Super Rod. So once you've gotten the Super Rod, there are a few extra things you need to do. You actually need to head on over to a swamp biome, and that can be found all around the world. They're generally pretty common, but then the hard part is actually finding one that has 4 blocks deep. I was very lucky at my little fishing hut over here to find one that ended up being 7 blocks deep. So it was much easier for me to use. But yeah, in order to catch one, it needs to be at least 4 blocks deep. Anything less, you won't ever get one. So they're the 3 main things that you need to do in order to get one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few little tips in order to help increase your chances of getting to Ash Greninja a lot harder. Because, you know, it only has 1% chance of spawning. It's incredibly hard to find. The first step would be using a fainted Pokemon. Now this Pokemon can be absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, but you want a fainted Pokemon in your party so that when you do catch a Pokemon, you don't have to go into battle every single time there's not a Greninja. And that way it just speeds up the process. You don't have to go into the battle, run, escape, and then keep on going again. It just instantly just spawns and it'll just start moving around. Now in terms of telling whether or not your Greninja is Battle Bond, is actually impossible. You cannot tell what ability your Greninja is until you battle it, unless you have a Pokemon with the ability Trace. The Trace pretty much means that as soon as you battle the Pokemon, it'll identify the ability of that Pokemon straight away. And in most cases, if it's Torrent, it'll tell you. But if it doesn't tell you, that means it's Battle Bond. I mean, every single time I've caught a Greninja on this server alone, when my Pokemon use the ability Trace, it just doesn't show up. It goes straight to the normal screen. That is how you know it's Battle Bond. The third tip would be using Water Stone Armor. Now for this, you'll need a full set, but all you need to do is just make this up, and what it'll do is actually give you the ability to breathe underwater, and that is massive when it comes to farming these things. It's not absolutely necessary, but it helps me out so much. So I definitely would recommend doing this. Just chuck them on, and then you notice in the top right, you have underwater breathing. So straight away you can just hop underwater and just stay there. Now the fourth tip would be, once you actually get into the battle with that Ash Greninja, try to have as high a level as Pokemon as you can and have level balls. Like I said, it's just a tip, so it isn't necessary, but if you have a level ball with a level 100 Pokemon, it'll help you out so much. It'll make the catching rate a lot easier. It won't be completely easy, but it'll be easier than what it was if you were to use one. And last but not least, we have a tip that actually doesn't revolve in the game. It actually revolves around something outside of the game and on your computer. So come with me and I'll show you what I mean. So this here is my basic setup. Here's my little Bulbasaur over here. Hello. So once you start fishing, of course you don't want to be holding this button all the time. You could use a key binding, but what I prefer to do is get little Bulbasaur to take my job and come over here, buddy, place his hand on the controller and just start fishing. And just keep him fishing, and it'll just stay there and he'll just continuously fish. Obviously it doesn't work right now, but that is definitely a tip that I personally use. Little Bulbasaur, good boy. So once you've grinded, it will take a little bit for you to catch this thing. It takes me around anywhere from 20 minutes to 1 hour 30 per session to get just one of them. But once you've got it, I mean, this is my Greninja, but you will end up with this. Look, okay, so this is just a base Greninja, and this is exactly what you'll see. You'll see just a normal Greninja and you'll be like, oh, it's not the Ash Greninja. That's why you need that Pokemon with Trace. That's why you need that Ralsei, because this is actually an Ash Greninja. What are you doing? But all you need to do, when you're in battle, it will turn to Ash Greninja once it's defeated one Pokemon. But when you're outside of battle, all you need to do is hit B. The changing is in the top right over there. It's from a Forage to Mega Evolve, and then press G. And there you go. It'll evolve into Ash Greninja. And this thing looks awesome. Is that not the sickest thing you've ever seen in your life? Like, that is so cool. And so rare as well. I mean, like, this sells for a lot on the markets. I mean, the markets on this server at least. If you'd like to come to the spot where I catch all of my Ash Greninjas, just come onto the server of mc.pixelspark.org, and if I'm on there, just ask me. I'll gladly take you to this spot. It is absolutely amazing. It helps me out so much every single time. And if you're on the server as well, come and say hi. I would love to say hi to you guys and help out whoever I can. But that's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button for 5 years of good luck and subscribe with the bell on for all future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Stay happy, stay tuned, but most importantly, stay jivey.